Oh, oh.
You know,
You got some mix and blend going on there.
yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to get him to do. I was trying to get him to do a song all the time I've lived in Germany, and the first time he hears this song, I wants to do a track over it, man. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Let him.
All right. Go on then, Butch. Take it away.
Is that?
Speechless.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if this Butch goes in Butch's direction. You know what I mean? It's probably a bit too electronic, innit? It's too electronic for Butch, I think.
Nah,
No.
man. I reckon.
No,
Butch would sound nice over.
it's just, dude. That's my shit right there.
Really?
You know, the thing, I was just trying to listen to it because it sounds like something I could put a nice hook to in a hurry.
You could ride that like a horse, brother. Listen, man, I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, you're coming
Absolutely.
like I don't know if you heard of a guy called Cleveland Watkins. He used to ride drum and bass tunes. And like saying kind of like, harmonizing and like singing, not MCing, singing. And he used to blend up with them tunes. Beautiful, man. I could imagine that you'd be the same. I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. That's where, like if, say for instance, a producer sends me a track, before I come up with words, I've already got a melody and I've got harmonies. And if I get a loop station, be harmonizing with myself and shit, Yeah, man.
Insane.
I'm trying to
give him the track, Wayne. Make him ride the track.
I'll send you the track, man. Why not, man? I'll send it to you, man.
Yeah,
ride it.
Probably have it done in like 10 minutes. Marcus Wyatt, man. There was a DJ called Marcus Wyatt. He had some tough tracks, man, which are house types. What I want to say, you know what I realize, man? It's good that I got Butch here, actually. He's a good person to have, man. Slavery didn't really change, man. I've been listening to British slavery, and I realized that, like, obviously everyone's got like old money. What we talk about old money, these guys acquired their wealth through slavery. We was worth so much money, man. Slaves, you could buy them and sell them, and that was the real first drug dealing or human trafficking was slavery. And anyone like who accumulated loads of wealth back in the day was through slavery and cotton. Obviously, there were the two things, man. You saw cotton and slaves, you'd be a millionaire. And these people now are rich today from like back in the past are the guys who had the most slaves. That's what I believe, man, firmly.
Well, also there's a lot of wealth that was accumulated in the States because they actually, the slaves actually built the infrastructure for free.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing, isn't it?
I mean, if you had to pay people to do that kind of labor, if you had to pay people to work on your farms, work on your plantations, I mean, you spend $300 or $400 on a slave, right? And you work him for 20, 30, 40, 50 years until he's dead. Yeah. Just think. I mean, there's no retirement. There's no pension. You just work till you die.
Retirement is definite.
Yeah, and a lot of wealth's been built off the back of slavery. I mean, even now, I believe that the British government is still paying families of slave owners for the fact that their slave businesses were ruined because Britain says no more, and there's people are still receiving money now, which I think is weird. I think it's wrong. I think it's
it's kind of like a slap in the face of the ancestors of the slaves, because How about compensating the descendants of the slaves for the dysfunctionality and I mean, look at the shit that's going on in America. You got the systemic racism that still exists, you know, and you've got a situation where they basically destroyed the structure of the black family.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
and then they perpetuate that with the welfare system because it's like, I mean, they say shit like we're going to, like, through affirmative action and through the quota system, we're going to take care of these poor black people. You know, it's like, no, I don't need you to take care of me. I need you to get out of the fucking way so I can take care of myself. You know, I'll give you an example. A situation that exists in America. You have women that are on welfare, right? They pay. The more children you have, the more money you get from welfare.
Yeah.
Right. And if you go out and get a job, right, it's probably going to be a minimum wage job, and you can't pay your bills with that money, but they take away whatever little bit of money that you earn, they deduct it from your welfare benefit. And if for some reason the father of your child decides he wants to move in and help you, then they take away your welfare. So in other words, you are penalized for trying to improve your situation. They want you dependent on welfare.
Yeah, it's the same in England, isn't it, Nigel? It's the same thing, isn't it?
You'll find it's the same in every country. The thing is, there's only one way that can solve it, and that has got to be a living wage, which a proper wage, what people need really to live. You know, you need $2,000 a month. You need £15, £20 an hour with a 40-hour week. And employers ain't paying that. You know, they're screwing about paying £8.51. You know, but if I was employing someone, I'd also look at that price and think, why? I want every last ounce of £8.51 I can get out of that person. So it's capitalism, man, unfortunately. And people of colour.
The thing of it is I think the difference between is something like working with. I've worked with a bunch of Arab people. I've worked with a bunch of Jewish people. I've worked with a bunch of Greek people. You know, and the mentality is just totally different. It's like when say for instance, when we get out of college, you know, we look for a job.
Yeah.
When they get out of college, they start a fucking business.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Isn't businesses the fact that we don't have businesses among the black folks? Like, for example, I remember a few years ago, I wanted to start two types of businesses. I wanted to start a bank, which I know for a fact the cartel wouldn't let me, and I wanted to start an insurance business. Now I knew I had 100% clear way how I could get everybody to come to my insurance company. And what I was going to do is offer the people their money back if they didn't have an accident. Not all of it, but maybe like say 50% of it. So if you didn't have an accident 1 year, now people would say, oh yeah, but what about your premiums and et cetera, et cetera. But I was like, yeah, but I think we could afford it. I think insurance companies make so much profit every year. They could pay people back. You know what I mean? Okay, I'd have to find out.
You do have certain insurance companies that have businesses like that. It's called term insurance. It's like your insurance premiums are an investment, and if you go for so long without it's also like a savings account.
Yeah.
You know, like when you I used to sell insurance, man, and when we would sell term insurance. It's like, say for instance, this policy, like you have some people, they just paying into a policy forever, and then if you die, then your family gets the money.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if we sell you term life, that means the term of your policy is 20 years, 25 years,
That's
30
too
years.
long, though, man. Wouldn't it be better yearly,
Well,
like an annual?
Wait a minute. Think about it. It's the same thing like if you buy a house. You know, you're paying a mortgage for 20 years, 30 years, and at the end of 30 years, you own a house.
Yeah.
Well, if I sell you term life insurance at the end of the term of the contract,
the end of your life.
No. Term insurance means that we're insuring you for the term of the policy,
okay.
which could be 15 years, 20 years, whatever we negotiate. And that money is going into an interest-bearing account, and that money is accumulating over the term of the policy. If at the end of the term of the policy you decide to cash out, you can cash out, and your money has been earning interest. We've been investing that money, so we've been making money off of your money as well.
Yeah,
you know,
that's pretty much how a bank works.
And at the end of the term of the policy, you get to take your money out, and also you can borrow against that money. Say, for instance, if the term of your insurance policy hasn't expired yet, but you get into dire financial straits and you need that money, you've got all that equity built up in this policy that you can borrow against.
Yeah. But what about my idea about a bank though, man? How would that work? Because look, if I went to, like, let's say, I wouldn't even know how it would start, but let's say I went to let's say them. I went to them and said, look, I want to open a bank. What kind of obstacles do you think I'll face? Because I'm pretty sure they'd be like, wow, you know, you're going to need this much money. You're going to need this much money. But like,
I'll tell you what obstacle you'll face.
All right.
How do you guarantee the money?
The thing is, you know, that's the thing. Like, if I offered a bank with favorable terms and say I had like some.
So how would you get? So someone comes in and puts £50,000 in your bank. How do you guarantee they can take their £50,000 out in 6 months?
I just be like, it's just in a holding. It's in a holding. You can take it back out in 60 months. I wouldn't use it. But then,
what the problem with banks is the banks speculate. Okay, that's what banks do. They take your money and they invest it, and they make profits off the investment. They also will take the $10,000 that you give them, and they will loan that money out to other people with interest.
It's
your money. It's your money. But wait a minute. What a bank will do is they'll take $1,000 that that somebody puts into a policy, and they will loan that money out to somebody else, and they'll loan that money out. They'll loan that $1,000 out to 100 people.
Yeah,
$1,000, right? So what they've basically done is they've made $100,000 on your money.
Yeah. So couldn't I use
what I mean?
Couldn't I use that system too, basically, to, like Nigel was saying, how would I promise or, you know, secure that funds?
But the thing of it is you have to get accredited by the government.
And that's
the
problem.
See, that's the crutch.
Infrastructure.
That's what I want to hear.
Infrastructure.
And the government, like, say, for instance, in America, the government will guarantee your bank.
Yeah, but would they, if they saw me coming with my dreadlocks, would they be like, yeah, we trust this guy?
The only way to get the government to give you a charter so you can open a bank is that you are sitting on such a shit ton of money that they know that you're not a bad risk.
Yeah.
See, there we are. See, that's the thing. See, now I got a good
hell, if it wasn't difficult, then every jackleg motherfucker in the world would say, hey, I'm going to start a bank. Bring me your money.
See, there's the thing, and that's leading into the thing I wanted to talk about. Now, people always say, like Kanye West said recently, it was black people, they choose to stay in the poverty. And a lot of people, obviously, from the right or whatever.
Kanye West,
saying,
man, don't quote Kanye
West.
He's
a fool.
He's a fucking idiot.
But they're saying that we don't make any effort, and that we didn't give anybody jobs because anyone who got like anything was from the them. Let's say them. I'm not even going to say who it is, but anything we get, black people, was from them. But the reason why we can't start our own stuff is because we have to go through them to start it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, hold on a second. How am I going to start something when, even though they're trying to say
what do you mean by start something?
Like, for example, if I wanted to start a bank, now someone started a bank.
But the thing is, though, starting a bank ain't as simple as saying, oh, I want to start a bank. Think of what you're actually saying. Think of what you're actually saying. No, think of what you're saying. Think of the banks in Germany and look at them and just think, okay, how would I start one of these? And think of what you're saying. It's got nothing to do with colour or anything else. Think of what you're saying. Do you know 10 investors? You've got £10 million to invest in your bank to get
£10
started.
million. See, this is what
Each,
I'm talking about.
£10 million, £10 million each to invest.
100 million. 100 million.
Well, that's the thing. You're talking about an institution. How can you just rock up and say, "Yeah, I want to start a bank"? That doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, I think I would never.
Even the Rothschilds, the wealthiest family on the planet, the Rothschilds. Okay, the way this guy started his banking is it was, as a matter of fact, it was in the Judengasse right here in Frankfurt where I live.
Okay.
It was 16 kilometers from here. And back in the day, the money for offerings in the synagogue, in the Jewish temple, the only acceptable money was Israeli shekels,
Okay.
and he brought a shit ton of shekels over here from Israel or wherever the hell he got them from. And when people wanted to go to the temple and make their offerings, they would bring him their Reichsmarks, and he would give them shekels. And he accumulated a lot of wealth. He accumulated so much wealth that he sent his 5 sons out to France, to England, to Italy, to Netherlands, and to America to start banks. And he invented the fractional banking system where, say for instance, if somebody brings $1,000 to the bank, he can loan that $1,000 out to 100 people or 1,000 people or whatever, and all of those people that money only exists on paper, by the way. It doesn't really exist, but he guarantees that money. If something happens, say for instance, the economy falls through the toilet, that money has to be guaranteed. So if all these people come to the bank all of a sudden and say, hey, I want my money.
Yeah, a bank run.
If there's a run on the bank. So he was able to guarantee that he had the asset to cover in case there was a loss. But this guy, one of the things he said back in the day, to give you an idea of how much money this guy had, he used to loan the money. He loaned money to kings.
He loaned money for war.
Yeah.
Every war that's ever happened, they had to go to him to loan money from him, or from the Rothschild Bank, the World Bank. So
absolutely,
he's funded war, he's funded death, he's funded the on both sides.
One of his most famous quotes was, "If you give me control over a nation's wealth, it doesn't make any difference who makes their laws."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
crazy.
And that's basically what's going on in the world today. I mean, look at America. You've got a bunch of billionaires that are they're saying fuck your Constitution. We want to win this election. So and because of this Corona shit, the only way to conduct this election is through mail-in voting. But I'm going to put my billionaire friend in charge of the post office. And what this guy has done is he's shut down the mail. He's dismantled the mail sorting machine, and so the way it's looking right now is that the election is in 48 days, right? And it's looking like there's no way they're going to get all the ballots counted by the end of election day.
It's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Because if the only way to vote is by mail, and you dismantle the fucking post office, you know, it's crazy, man. Just like the education system, he put Betsy DeVos in charge of the education system. Another billionaire. She's trying to shut down the public school system. He put one of his billionaire coal miner friends. The coal industry is in the toilet because of the Environmental Protection Agency, because of all the stringent ecological laws that were put in place by the Environmental Protection Agency. They also made it so expensive to, the United States is sitting on a shit ton of oil.
Yeah,
but because
it's like Saudi Arabia.
Because cost of getting it out of the ground, it's cheaper for the oil companies to import oil from Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and places like that than it is to drill it out of the ground.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
So Butch,
and he put a billionaire dude in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency. They were rolling back.
Hello, can you hear me? Not to go off on a tangent, innit? Because I don't. This is not really the idea behind the show today. What I want to ask is, what I really wanted to ask before we go off on a tangent. Are black people really the architects?
We've been off on a tangent for the last 15 minutes, man.
Yeah. No, actually, we're not. We're not really, because this is where I was leading to. Are black people really the architects of their own downfall, or are we the victims? Are we victims, or are we the architects? Are we to blame while we're not further in life, or are we really victims of some sort of if you want systematic racism or institutional racism or whatever you want to call it? Are we victims? I don't know, because a lot of people, there's a lot of people like Candice Owens and stuff would say, yeah, it's black people's fault why they're not further in life. And I'm like, hold on a minute.
Candice Owens is a coon. She's cooning for the white people.
Yeah, probably.
She's cooning, just like this fucker. What's his name? Terrence K. Williams.
No, he's a fool. He's not one of that stupid chicken.
Terrence K. Williamson.
Yeah, he's a fool, man. Trust me, I had to write him.
The son of a bitch. He's talking about how he loves Donald Trump. Donald Trump. It's like Step and Fetch It back in the day. You ever heard of Step and Fetch It?
I think so. I need to check, man. Hold on.
I have not heard of it.
Step and Fetch It. I can't remember his real name, but he was the first black actor to earn $1 million. And the way he did it was doing exactly what white people, being exactly the kind of stereotypical lazy guy on camera, the stupid nigga, right? See, and they thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They thought he was hilarious.
It was always decided that we were the dancing, the entertaining guys. As long as we were doing staying in our corner, in our lane, we was good. The moment we try and do something else, be a bit more educated or read a book, no, we don't want this, man. And that's the same as today. If you ask me, if you look at it it's the same. If you be a musician or you try and be an actor or something, you'll make it, or a sportsman, you're good. As soon as you try and be someone in the judicial system or a doctor or something, they're like, we don't really have a space for you, man.
But what are you basing that on? Because there's plenty of doctors of color.
Well, are they not? out of Africa most of the time. How many doctors you really find? I don't
No,
know, maybe in America.
I mean, the thing is, right. What you got to remember is your circle is your circle.
Yeah.
So you probably aren't seeing people, but there are doctors of colours. There's
definitely
dentists. There's man. I met a black dentist only before this lockdown. So what you aren't seeing. The thing is, you ain't going to see them all marching down the road saying, "Yeah, man, we're black doctors and we've got to make our stand." They're just quietly getting on with getting on. Mm. So the thing is, opportunity is out there and it is being taken.
Yeah.
And yeah, racism exists as well, but you can't draw a line and say, "Oh, no black people are achieving," because there's a whole heap of black people who are achieving so much right now. But just because they're not they're not in our faces, doesn't mean it's not happening. You know what I mean? There's actually one of the top barristers in the UK, actually a Rasta man. Really? He got locks down to his backside. But you're not going to see him. I saw him. He was in the paper about a year ago, and I was like, blows on skirts. But what we lack, I suppose, are people in those professions in our faces saying, "Yeah, no opportunities out of reach." That's what we lack, because when you do go and see a doctor, or you see a doctor on TV, or you see a judge on TV, or a lawyer on TV, they're always the same colour. But the reality is, they are out there, man. You know what I mean? It's yes, it's hard, but they are out there. You know what I mean? It's not as kind of like, "Oh, you can't be a doctor." That's bull. Maybe in Germany that might happen, but not over here in the UK.
No, in Germany, it's all right. Germany's more representative. Like if you've seen a doctor, like I think Germany's still a little bit less institutionally racist than England, because even though there's racism here and it's known for racism.
Hey, don't kid yourself, man.
I was going to say, man, Germany's less, mate.
Wow. Can I elaborate on that?
The problem with racism in Germany is that it's so embedded into the psyche of the Germans. A lot of people are just racist, and they're not even aware that a lot of their behavior is racist.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll find that with that. That's why some white people couldn't get their head around Black Lives Matter, because they don't realise what racism is. Yeah. But to say
the thing of it is the white people who can't get their heads around Black Lives Matter are the people that Black Lives Matter are. They're the people that really need to understand that Black Lives Matter, because the white folks that think Black Lives Matter is like a terrorist organization are the same white folks that go out and support these fucking white militias. The ones who say that kid that shot those 3 people in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they say it was self-defense. Well, how can it be self-defense? First of all, the kid is 17 years old, right? Which means he's not even allowed to legally carry a gun. They've got an open carry gun in Wisconsin, but the kid's from Illinois, right? Which means that he took an assault rifle from Illinois into Wisconsin, and he's walking around brandishing a fucking assault rifle, and he shoots 3 people, and they say it's self-defense. Now the cops took this guy. They gave him water. They protected him, right? And now and even Donald Trump gets into it and says that it looks like self-defense to him. But the thing of it is that I saw it on film when this guy with a skateboard swung his skateboard at dude's head, right? And he shot the guy. But what you don't see is you see the people chasing after this, but what don't see is prior to them trying to disarm this guy, he had already shot somebody in the head and killed him. That's not on camera. They didn't start filming this guy until he actually killed somebody.
No.
Right? And now they're saying everybody, dude, my ex-wife's uncle got on. I posted about that shit on my Facebook page, and my
Hello?
Two people that I've known for years, man. You know, one of them I've known since I was 18 years old, and the other one I've known for the last 20 years. They both got on my fucking page and said that it looked like self-defense to them, and it wasn't illegal. He wasn't carrying an illegal weapon. Well, the gun itself was not illegal, but he was carrying it illegally because he was underage.
Yeah.
Okay, and my ex uncle actually said, yeah, those fucking Black Lives Matter pricks deserved it, you know. And I'm saying to myself, really, is that what you think? I said, you realize that I'm one of those Black Lives Matter pricks, right?
Yeah.
And your niece has 3 children with this Black Lives Matter prick.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, people that I've known for years and years and years are swallowing this Donald Trump racist Kool-Aid, man. You know.
Yeah.
And it's
I think what you got to remember is a lot of people, their interaction with the world is through the square box.
Mm-hmm.
And the square box will tell people whatever it wants them to believe. Now, you know, they're calling it a terrorist organization because they want to discredit it. But the reality is, it's got nothing to do with terrorism. Yes, there is a organization called BLM, but BLM as an actual phrase, you know, can't be owned by anyone other than, you know, this is a phrase, Black Lives Do Matter. You know, isolated incidents. I mean, America's just mad to me anyway. The way everyone just walks around with guns and this, that, and the other, it's nuts. Those people chasing after that guy,
man,
with the gun.
One of the reasons why I've been living in Germany for 30 years.
My thought on watching that is, why are you chasing after a guy who's got a gun who's already used it?
That's the same as that guy who got shot in it.
Why are you chasing after a guy who's got a gun, who's already used a gun? Surely you phone the police from a safe distance to make sure he gets arrested. But, you know, and that's the thing. I think because guns are so prevalent in America, people almost think they're invincible. If someone pointed a gun at me, I'm walking the other way. I ain't walking towards them. I ain't chasing after them. I'm getting the hell out of there. Well, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah, this guy's armed with an assault rifle that can shoot through a fucking bulletproof vest, and you attack him with a skateboard.
You just get out of his way, man. Not being funny, man. Get out of his way. I don't know. I mean, I think to a degree it hasn't been hijacked, but I think what's happening is because you've got some angry people who are marching for the cause. And what you got to remember is, when you've got a crowd of people, the energy is different to when it's one person on their own. One person on their own ain't going to cause a ruckus. But when you got 1,000 people behind you all baying for blood, a different kind of energy can take different people and make them do things which probably they wouldn't normally do. Bit of bravado,
actually,
petrol bomb.
They've said that they're saying that you know, they're hollering about violent protests and shit like that. When it's been proven that 96% of the protesters are peaceful. It's peaceful protest.
Well, they always
you've
show.
got some anarchists that are in there trying to start some shit.
Yeah.
And you've got people that are out.
Young men, angry young women who are like, right, I'm taking a stand, and you know, not just black, whites as well.
They've also caught some white supremacists
causing trouble
around looting, setting shit, so they can say, look at what Black Lives Matter is doing. But it's not Black Lives Matter. It's these white militias. And the Department of Homeland Security has been trying for the last 5 years to get right-wing militias declared as domestic terrorist groups. But and they said the number one threat for domestic terrorism in the United States is the right-wing white supremacist movement.
Sure, always was.
Donald Trump there has already called Black Lives Matter a terrorist group.
It's crazy, man.
You guys are frozen.
Yeah, everyone's frozen. I don't know. I think I don't know if it's my network is very slow today. I don't know why, man. I this internet to do my head in, but I am gonna replace it soon.
Simon is I'm seeing him move in real time, but you are like
Nigel
stops and starts. You know,
that's
I'm not Simon.
Nigel.
That's his name. You can see his name underneath, can't you?
I said Simon.
Yeah, that's all right. No problem. Well, I want to say though, but yeah, anyway, going back to.
I'm just, I've got CRS.
Anyway, go back to the original question. So, would you say so you would agree? I think Nigel, would you agree that we're the architects of our own downfall, or would you say are we victims? I would say I still say.
I'd say if you choose to be a victim in this world, whether you're black or white, then you can be a victim if you want to be. If you want to strive, obviously there's a lot of things, circumstance, there's a bit of luck involved. Life does throw curveballs, but I truly believe that someone who puts their head to it can achieve, can strive. I think if the mentality around you is telling you that that's your world, then that becomes your world. I think there's a phrase in the Bible, you speak what you become. So if what you hear and you speak is negative, then your life is going to be a negative life. You're always going to be glass half and half full. Whereas myself, my life, I've had tough times, I've had racism, all that, but would I sit here and go, oh, woe is me, life's been tough? Hell no. Hell no. Because I've had opportunities. I've done things which other people haven't done. I've been to places other people haven't been to. My life's been good. Do I have any regrets? Yeah, should have played football a bit longer.
Mine as well, with the exception of the last few months. I worked for a living for several years, man, but for the last 30 years, I've been the guy to decide what my time is worth. I've been the guy that gets to do exactly what I was born to do, and I get to charge people for it. I refuse to let somebody else say, okay, an hour of my time is worth $12. No, you don't get to decide that. I decide that. And I'm one of the fortunate people. I'm one of the fortunate people on this planet that is doing exactly what I was born to do. Yeah. And getting paid for it.
Are you the exception? Are you the exception or not the rule? That's the question. Because you got to use blessed.
Of course, I'm the exception.
Voice. And that's what I mean. So that leads me back to saying, are we still victims? We're still victims then, I would say. We're not architects of our own, downfall, because you can do it because you've got a great voice and people will hear that and see that and be like, actually, we could do something with him. And me, I learned to play piano. So people might be like, I can play piano. Well, we could do something with him. Maybe just a normal guy, maybe a little bit more intelligent, but you don't get that break.
But the thing is, normal black, normal white, normal Asian, every problem that you're going to come out with, people in other countries of other races have got the same bloody problems and issues.
I guess so.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What do you expect? Do you expect every single black person to have the best job in the world? I mean,
not at all. But I do believe that there's probably been some people who.
I think you can't even expect that from white people, man.
Yeah, I think Wayne. I think you set our sights too low. You set our sights too low, man. I don't know where. I don't know how. Obviously, you're in Germany. I'm in the UK. I live a different life to you. But I think you see things negative first, as opposed to, it's like yourself, Wayne, and it's like you, Butch, being out in Germany. Up until I got back in touch with Wayne, I didn't know black people lived in Germany. I didn't know that you could go out there and see all that colour, and that there was friendly and people spoke. I thought Germans was rude. I thought there was this, I was that. So. You know what I mean? Everyone's got a perception.
Well, don't forget, German. Don't get it twisted. Germans are rude, man.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Germans are rude.
The ones I encountered were all right. Smile, everything else. But I think when you look at things you know, and and obviously, I don't know where it's come from, but your worldview is so much different to my own, so much more different. Even though I've watched all, the Black Lives Matter thing, everything else, I'm part of the movement, blah blah. But your view of the world is so much different to mine in terms of the limitations you put on people of color.
No, you know what it is. You know what it is. I try and stay in, like, cause look, I'm quite blessed myself. I'm all right. I'm chilling.
That's what I'm saying.
Outside and stuff. The house is nice. I'm living all right, but I still try and stay real and still understand the struggle is still there. You know what I mean? The struggle is still there, man.
But the thing is, though, what you got to also remember is if you're doing all right, then and you're doing well, and you're in Germany, and you're someone who's gone from another country and learned another language, you're actually a role model. So as a role model, should you be saying to people, oh, woe is it for you? All you guys, you can't do what I do. You ain't going to get nowhere. Or should you be saying, yo, look at what I've achieved. Look at what you can become. You can go to another country. You can learn another language. You can teach yourself how to play the piano. You know what I mean? As opposed to, oh, man, you're black, then life's... You know what I mean? You've got to switch that switch, man. Flick that switch.
Well, look at me, man. I've got 11 living siblings. We were all born with musical talent. I decided when I was a little boy that I was going to do everything I could to parlay this shit into fame. If I got a little bit of fame, never made the fortune, but I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. But my family, they have just as much talent as I do, but they decided to go and get jobs.
That's it.
Jobs that make them miserable.
Yeah, exactly. So it's about choices.
And a guy told me a long time ago. Yeah, people want to be safe. They want to have that paycheck. But what that paycheck does, you're going to have it on the first of every month. But what it also does is it limits you to what somebody else decides your time is worth.
Yeah. Now, and this is where I will say.
A guy told me a long time ago.
This is why I will say, to a degree, there is some conditioning going on, because if you think of the people who influence us as youngers.
Well, the whole education system, the public education system is designed to create obedient workers.
Go and get a job, blah, blah. Even your parents, oh yeah, go to school, get the best grades, get this, get that, get a good job. So if you think about it, for you to be one of 11 to say, something, no, I'm going to go against a trend, that is good. Where they've zigged, you've zagged. That makes sense. Everybody else went safe. You went, no, man, I'm going to take a risk, take a chance on myself. Now, this is what I'm saying to you, Wayne. As a person, whether it doesn't matter what colour you are, it's whether you're willing to take a chance on yourself. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, green, yellow, does not matter. You're prepared to take a chance on yourself. That's when the magic can happen. That's when you can have new experiences. That's when you can utilise your natural God-given skills like Butch and actually turn a coin from it. So wait for you to sit there and go, whoa, man, what is this, what is that? Man, you can't do it, man, because you're not sitting there in that situation right now. You can go out and still do things right now.
But you think it starts off younger, though, man? Like you said, do you think it starts off like...
That being said, now, I believe on the other side of the coin who are trying. You can either accept the victimization that they try to put on you, or you can say, I'm not the one.
I'm not the one, man. Move on, man. Move on.
I think black people in general accept the lot that is put on them.
Glass half full.
I think
it's easy, right? When something,
I think you accept it, but
when something negative happens, it's easy to say, "Oh, it's the other man's fault. It's their fault. The reason why this is happening, even though it's got nothing to do with them." And that's what some families grow up hearing all the time. So if you think about it, you're told the same thing every day. Dude,
I had it in my own household growing up.
Yeah.
I had it in my own household growing up. My father my father told me his favorite thing was, Butch, sit down and shut up. You know, you're not special.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody
Put you
in
down.
this
Put you
family.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I learned to play the cello. You know, my father told me black people don't play the cello.
Yeah.
You know
Okay,
what I
so we are
mean?
the architects of our own downfall then.
You know what I
Well,
mean? It's like
we
just
were.
because you grew up in. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I'll say you're not about your dad and the cello.
No, yeah, I thought he was trying to say something. Yeah, I joined the All City Youth Orchestra, and I was able to become the first chair cellist. I got all the cello solos, you know. But
Oh.
my father, he kept telling me, you think you're better than the rest of us. He said his favorite thing was, you ain't shit.
And this is the thing,
You're
you
not
see,
better than anybody else.
and this is where the learned behaviours come from. Because if you think about it, as a father, you as a father, me as a father, we will be the complete opposite. In that our children do something and it's whoa, wow, brilliant, well done, blah 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 blah. And I think that negativity which some people grew up with from their parents, which was pain, which was caused by pain and racism and everything else, that's been, I think, a factor in the psychology and how some of our people, our community are right now, because they're living that pain, or they've lived that pain through their parents.
There's a book that everybody should read. I think every black man should read the book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And what it is we carry that around with us. Oh, our people have it so bad because of slavery.
Post-traumatic.
And I think there's a lot of slave syndrome.
Slave.
I'm looking at it now. Post. So we can.
The thing is, there's a lot of behaviours.
Everybody.
Oh, it's not unaudible.
Well, there's a lot of things that happened that are still happening, and they, like, the welfare system is designed to keep black people down. They say, and these entitlements, but it's not, but you hear about all the black people that are on the welfare system, but what people don't realize is that there are more white people on welfare than there are black people on welfare. You know what I mean?
But again, it's the square box.
Absolutely, and it's like they want to teach you that you're not as good. They want you to accept that, just like affirmative action. They have the quota system. Well, this university has to have a certain number of black people there, whether they're qualified or not. You know, and that makes the white students resent the black students. It's like the quota systems, the racism that exists in a lot of these institutions perpetuates that stereotype that we are not qualified to do the same things that they do. You know, and we can either accept that or we can fight it. A guy told me when I was in my 20s, he said to me, Butch, it takes a lifetime to make a living, but you can take one good idea and make it work for you, and you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And everybody said this guy was full of shit, and he was a bullshit artist, and because he kept coming up with these get rich quick schemes, you know. He said, "Yeah, Butch, I'm gonna keep coming up with these schemes. Only one of them has to work."
Yeah.
You know. You know what I mean? And he came up with this system, and ended up, it was a barter system where he would put businesses that were cash poor, like, say for instance, you got a you got a restaurant, you know, and you need to have linen service for your tablecloths and all this shit.
Yeah.
But this person over here has a linen service, and he wants to be able to have cheap food for his employees when he comes into town. So he would put people in touch with, you know, where they would be able to exchange goods and services, you know, and as the middleman, as the broker, putting all these businesses in touch with each other, this guy was making money, and all it was a fucking idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can come up with shit like that, and I wasted a lot of years. I swear I did. I wasted a lot of years working for people that were dumbasses just because I needed a job.
Yeah, that's true, man.
People who couldn't rub two intelligent sentences together if it saved their life.
Yeah.
You know?
This guy makes me want to quit my. This guy makes me want to quit my job, man.
I was caught because I was caught in a situation where I had a lazy wife at home and kids to feed. You know, I ended up dropping out of college to go and get a job working for idiots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And that was gonna be my destiny until I said, you know what, fuck this. I'm talented. I can make money doing this shit. There's people throwing money at me to come and sing in their fucking church, to come and sing in their club, to come and sing over here in the studio. You know, why am I killing myself working? Dude, I was a fucking restaurant manager, and I was turning down jobs, right? If I had taken the job on Friday and Saturday and taken this Jewish wedding on Sunday, that's my monthly salary on one weekend. Yeah. But I can't take this money because the weekend is my busiest time in the restaurant. Crazy. What the hell kind of an idiot was I?
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah.
But that security blanket, man, is a powerful thing. You know, that regular paycheck is a powerful thing.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up, man, because it's kind of it's one of those days today.
I'm sorry, I went off on another tangent.
No, it's okay. It's fine. No, it's not because of you or anything. It's just we're gonna wrap it up now. What's it called? But then next week, hopefully, we'll have a big two. We're supposed to have a guest today, but she didn't come on, man. I don't know. She must be asleep or something from America, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, guys, man.
What's her name?
Lisa. I don't know, man. I can't remember.
Because we can put her on blast and say she.
We'll put her on blast next week. No, we're not gonna do that, man. We're not that mean. You know, she's a sister, man. We're gonna support our sisters. Anyway, Nigel, you still with us? Where are you?
I'm here, man.
Okay, you got anything to say, man? Or?
Yeah, man, boy. Just finished off my online course. It'll be ready to go in 2 weeks' time. So I will be dropping links in the group later on this week or next.
Cool, man.
Sam Day, man. Thank you, Sam Day, for inspiring me.
Yeah, I'm about to start my stuff too, man.
Good, man.
I'm doing the research. I got a couple of ideas coming up, man. I got to do some research, and then once I've done that, man, I'm going to start putting it all into video and stuff. Because I got to get on Butch's train and the gravy train, man. Sack this.
For real?
Yeah, man.
For real?
Butch, you got anything to say, man, before we hit on the head?
No, it's just yeah, man. Just this whole I don't believe that we're victims, you know, and I don't. You now, Kanye said slavery was a choice, which was a fucking idiotic thing for any human being to say. But what I will say is that I think people choose to be a victim or they choose not to be.
Yeah,
and I think people will try to victimize you as long as they can get away with it. But no, I'm not a victim, and you're not either.
Yeah,
unless you choose to be.
Definitely. I'm gonna get that book anyway, man. Well, the book was called
Post-Traumatic Slave Disorder Syndrome.
Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
That's the book I'm reading next after I finish my African history book, man. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you next week, man. Yeah, Butch, we'll catch up on the conspiracy show, man, later on in the week.
Dude, send me that track.
Yeah, all right, I'll send it, man. I'll send it. All right, guys, see you later, man.
Don't make me come after you. I know where your house is.
I'll send it now. I'll send it now. Actually, yeah, all right. I'll send it on WhatsApp. I see it.
All right, cool. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Yeah, man.